In this era of homeland security, I would like to say a few words about safety in the home. There are some dangers there and some misconceptions as well. First on the list is asbestos. If you are living in an older house in which asbestos was used for insulation, the first thing you must do is consult with an attorney, because you are sitting on a potential gold mine if you play your cards right. Be sure to hire an attorney who will work for a percentage of the recovery, not a fee. Once you have done this, all you need to do is cough occasionally, but convincingly, and look weak or even stricken. A cane is probably overdoing it, but possibly worth considering. Talk it over with your attorney. There are a number of huge pools of money designated for those suffering from contact with asbestos. Some of them have dried up, but not all. If your lawyer is worth their cut, he or she should be able to find a nice chunk still out there, several million at best. All you have to do is cough and lean on your cane, if you got one. You will also need to find a company specially designated and equipped in the removal of asbestos. This will be expensive but necessary. Don't worry, you won't have to pay for it. The government will cover it, and it will serve not only to cleanse your home, but also to support your case. And while they're tearing your house apart, you can live in some cool condo or apartment. Next on the list of deadly household toxins is lead paint. Lead paint is a danger to children who eat it. You might ask, what kind of parents let their kids eat paint, whether it contains lead or not? And it's a point well taken. But kids will be kids, and kids get into everything. If they happen to get into lead paint and start eating it, develop a taste for it, consume a lot of it, the lead will lodge in their nervous systems and their brains. You can spot the kids who ate lead paint when they grow up. They've got a funny look on their face, they limp, they're uncoordinated, and they're confused in their minds. They grow up to be sociopaths who rape and murder other people as casually as you or I might eat a bowl of oatmeal. We can't have that, even though we do. So if you are a parent, do not let your kids eat paint. And stay away from paint yourself. Set a good example. And if you think the paint in your home contains lead, either move or hire a company to come in and remove all the paint in the house. How do you know if your paint contains lead? I don't know. Have someone test it. My strongest recommendation is to stop your damn kids from eating paint, even if it doesn't contain lead. Why the hell are they eating paint? If you put little bowls of nuts and berries or M&Ms out, maybe they'll stay away from the paint. Lastly, we have radon. And this is where it gets complicated. Radon is bad for you, no fooling, but that's not the whole story. Listen up. Radon comes from the radioactive decay of thorium and uranium. This produces radium, which in turn converts to radon. By the way, the end product of this long process is lead, which is that bad stuff that's in the paint your kids are eating. Radon is a gas, and you don't want to breathe it in, or any of its radioactive components. So if you think your house contains radon, you will need to get a mask to protect yourself. One of those paper masks is okay as a starter, but you might want to get something more secure, like visit the nearest Army surplus store and get yourself a real gas mask. Breathing in radon is not a good thing. But radon itself might be. This is my own personal theory. I was living in a house once that had radon in the basement, and I would put on my gas mask and go down there, and I could feel the low-level radioactivity flowing into and energizing my entire body, and particularly my testicles. They were practically glowing. I was reading a lot of comic books at the time, and I knew that many superheroes got their start from exposure to radioactivity, guys like Spider-Man and the Hulk and the Fantastic Four, and consequently, I just about lived in that basement, wearing my gas mask, waiting for my superpowers to arrive. The radon wasn't a danger, it was the opportunity of a lifetime. I had a costume all picked out, and I was going to call myself Nutsack. As it turned out, I had to move, and I never did turn into a superhero. I still have the costume, and sometimes I put it on and think about what might have been. When I sold the house, I didn't try to hide the fact that it had radon. I used it as a selling point. I sold it to another comic book lover, set him up with my gas mask, and that might have worked out, except technically I didn't own the house. I was just subleasing it, so that was a big mess, but that's another story. Stay focused. If you do have radon in your house, don't panic. Get a good gas mask and start working on your costume. You get some superpowers, maybe you can go to work for Homeland Security.